being a mother fosters the nurturing side of many a woman. Few roles outside of motherhood present the potential to engage a person fully, stirring sentiments that are both stimulating and pleasing. Social norms dictate that motherhood should occur in certain social contexts, but teenage pregnancy has long been a part of our social fabric. In 2013, Sub-Saharan Africa had the highest prevalence of adolescent pregnancy in the world. Half of all births that occurred in this region were to teenage mothers, with an estimated 101 births per 1,000 women aged 15 to 19, almost double the global average. Today, we look at the harsh realities of teenage pregnancy. Meet Matilda, a Namibian native. She was 19 years old when she fell pregnant with her first child.
And I fell pregnant just when I had turned 19. So that was in December of 2010, and I had my baby September 2011. I think because I was young and to say probably naive and very careless, and I didn't think so much of my actions or the consequences of my actions, more so just careless and in love, or so I thought, and just living in the moment and not thinking too much of what my consequences could be of the actions that I'm taking.
There are many factors which contribute to the increased numbers in teenage pregnancies. Between a lack of education, low income levels, and child marriages, the negligence of birth control remains one of the main factors.
I was very much aware of birth control, but at that point I had never been on birth control. It wasn't a part of my world.
As with anything that is not considered the norm, stigmatization becomes very much a part of the conversation. Popular TV shows like Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant have romanticized teenage pregnancy. But what does this mean for the greater parts of our societies?
I would say stigmatization and the fear of parenthood at such a young age. Not because I was a child, I was a teenager in my late teens, but I was a child myself. So it was the fear of being a child and having to take care of a child as well, not being in the financial position to take care of a child, and also the fear of my dreams, things that I wanted to achieve. And it was just really scary. It was a scary time. It's not what I had planned for myself. It's not what I wanted for myself. And also just the fear of disappointing my parents, having to put a lot on hold, because the reality of my life is not just about me now. It becomes about someone else. I think that was my biggest fear and my biggest challenge. And
It is important to note that outside of these teenagers and maybe their lack of responsibility, the communities children are raised in are so important and play just as much a huge role. Many of these teenagers grow up in single parent households. They witness unsavory single mothers' dating behaviors. They may lack positive family interaction. There may be a lack of parental supervision, and usually there's also a lack of positive parent-child communication.
Nna mo ke bona ke lusitse teng ha nke ke ile ka dula fase ka mmontsha hore na e sebediswa bang wa bona maybe nke a se so
ko sekolong na ba tlwaetse o tla vele batho ba ditliniki le ba dipets ba tla ba tlo bua le rona mara nna ne ke sa inane le ka hore vele ne ke le virgin na ba dula ba tla ba retsa man le lo hlaba nna ne ke sa understand hore ba bua ka eng. So hai ne ke qala hore ba la lenati. So ne ke sa nane hantle hore ntho tse di etsang di preventa eng ke labo.
nna ke rile o monyane ka be ke itshola fothe ke re ha nke ke ile ka monka kana kwa no ke mona thoma ya madikhoneng ke mo ishe clinicing a o etsa family planning lona is a risk ke mo ruta eng ke mo foster hore a ba tshimane ka ngana a roba le bona ka ngana ka re no choice is ke a haya ke She must make her own choice.
It's not ready yet. How also understand the changes in your own body? How are you going to understand an extra change, your pregnancy, a growing baby in your belly? Because the body is not yet ready for a child, it develops extraordinarily fast when it's not ready as an adult body. So the chances that the risks sometimes one not naturally because pelvic girdle, the pelvis area is not yet developed to move wide enough for a baby to come out of the vagina.
Every culture has its own way of doing things that are the norm and things that are still considered taboo, regardless of how progressive a society may be. While it is easier to judge, it is very apparent that teenage pregnancies do not happen in isolation. There are many factors involved, factors that show cracks in our societies. Even as that may be, having a child young is not the end of the world.
What am I doing? I just graduated with my honors degree in advertising and public relations. So a lot is to come from here. And I'm reaching the stars with my daughter by my side.